بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وبه نستعين. الفيديو ده بيتكلم على جزء من السيلبس بتاع فيزيكس سكندري يونت 2 شابتر 5 hydrodynamic. The subject is viscosity. As we know, liquid moves in form of layers. There will be the forces between these moving layers cause viscosity. It is a property due to which layers of liquid, احنا قلنا liquid moves if you move layers، يبقى layers of liquid resist its motion relative to each other. يبقى viscosity property due to which layers of liquid resist its motion relative to each other. Viscosity forces اللي هي between layers of the liquid مالها؟ It is a tangential frictional cohesive forces. Cohesive يعني between layers of the same material. Tangential friction which resists motion. It is tangential friction cohesive forces between layers of liquid that resist its motion relative to each other. يبقى دي viscosity forces, tangential frictional cohesive forces between layers of liquid that resist its motion relative to each other. Forces factors affecting viscosity forces. Factors affecting viscosity forces. Number one, velocity of the moving layer V. By increasing velocity of the moving layer, the viscosity forces will increase. يبقى viscosity forces directly proportional to the velocity of the moving layer. Area in contact A. Phi between the two layers moves relative to each other. There is area of contact. The viscosity forces directly proportional to area in contact between the two layers of liquid moving relative to each other. Vertical distance between layers D. The viscosity forces inversely proportional to the vertical distance between the two layers relative to each other. Kind of liquid. The viscosity forces depend on kind of liquid. From all of these, the viscosity forces directly proportional to velocity of the moving layer and directly proportional to the area in contact between the two layers relative to each other, and inversely proportional to the vertical distance between the moving layers. يبقى إذا the viscosity forces equal constant V, the velocity of the moving layer, area in contact between the two layers relative to each other, and the vertical distance between the two layers relative to each other. يبقى eta, which is a constant, which is called the viscosity coefficient, equal F, the viscosity forces, multiplied by D, the vertical distance between the two layers relative to each other, and A, the common area between the two layers relative to each other, and the velocity of the moving layer. Viscosity coefficient eta. It is the tangential friction force which cause unity change in velocity. لما أبص هنا ادي الفيسكوستي coefficient eta اهو. It is the tangential friction force اهي which cause unity change in velocity. This tangential friction force cause unity change in velocity between the two layers of liquid. The common area between them is 1 meter square, and the vertical distance between them is 1 meter. يبقى tangential friction force, which cause unit change in velocity between two layers of liquid. The common area between them is 1 meter square, and vertical distance between them is 1 meter. يبقى units of viscosity coefficient يبقى unit of force نيوتن، unit of displacement meter، unit of velocity meter per second، السكند هتطلع فوق وادي المتر اهي، unit of cross sectional area متر سكوير. يبقى اذا هتبقى نيوتن، المتر هتشتغل مع المتر هتبقى نيوتن دوت سكند متر سكوير. نيوتن بر متر سكوير is باسكال، تبقى باسكال دوت سكند. طيب النيوتن عبارة عن كيلو جرام متر سكند نيجاتيف 2، وبعدين ادي السكند اهي، وبعدين ادي المتر نيجاتيف 2 اهي، يبقى ادي انذر يونت. طيب بعد كده ادي الكيلو جرام، وبعدين المتر ومتر نيجاتيف 2 تبقى متر نيجاتيف 1، وبعدين سكند نيجاتيف 2 وسكند تبقى سكند نيجاتيف 1، يبقى باسكال دوت سكند and kilogram meter negative 1 second negative 1. This is a unit of viscosity coefficient. Applications of viscosity. Lubrication يعني التشحيم. Decrease heat reduced. Protect moving parts from wearing. Oil is used as a lubricant due to its high viscosity, so it will not flow between the moving parts, and low surface tension. It will adhere with the moving parts. Water cannot be used as lubricant due to its low viscosity. It will flow between the moving parts, and its high surface tension. It will adhere between the moving parts. Sedimentation rate test. It is a medical test used in diagnosis of some diseases. يبقى sedimentation rate test اللي هو معدل الترسيب. It is a medical test used in diagnosis of some diseases. Sedimentation rate is proportional to square of blood cell radius. يبقى sedimentation rate is proportional to square of blood cell radius. كل ما البلاد cell radius increase, the sedimentation rate increase. In case of rheumatic fever, blood cells collect together. يبقى radius of blood cells will increase. Its radius increase. طيب sedimentation rate increase. لما يكون السedimentation rate عالي يبقى في عندي fever، rheumatic fever اللي هي الآلام الروماتيزمية. طيب in case of anemia, blood cells break down. Blood cells will break down, its radius decrease, the sedimentation rate decrease. يبقى at low sedimentation rate indicate presence of anemia. Car will consume more fuel at high speed. Car will consume more fuel at high speed. At low speed, car velocity directly proportional to air resistance. At low speed, car velocity directly proportional to air resistance. At high speed, car velocity directly proportional to air resistance square. يبقى في more resistance caused by the air to the car at high speed, so car will consume more fuel to overcome that high resistance.